Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's the Daily Row. Welcome to my channel where we talk all things natural hair. Okay, so thanks for joining. Now we're continuing the series on hair porosity. The last time we looked at low porosity hair, and today we're going to look at high porosity hair. All right, so for those who have not watched the video on low porosity, the link is in my description, so you can click and watch that video if you so have low porosity hair. All right, but how do we test the porosity of our hair? I went ahead and added my hair to water. That was about 10 minutes ago, and as you see, it's still floating on the top. All right, there it is. Yes, that's hair. It's right here. Okay, there it is. All right, so it says to me that I have low porosity hair. Okay, so that's what we looked at the last time. And for those who may be wondering, because you're watching the video for the first time, you didn't see the last video, porosity has to do with the hair's ability to absorb, how open the hair is to moisture and retention of that moisture. So there are three types of porosity. We have low, high, medium, or normal. So our next video will look at the medium porosity. Today we're looking at high porosity, and we already looked at low porosity. So make sure you check it out in the link. So what does it mean when your hair is highly porous? All right, the hair has three levels or three layers. So we have the cuticles, the cortex, and the medulla. The cuticles, that's the outer layer of our hair, the outer the part that is more open to moisture. All right, the cortex is just the inner, and the medulla is the innermost part of the hair. All right, so the cuticle is what actually opens to allow moisture, and depending on our hair texture, it's more susceptible to moisture or it's not. All right, so with the low porosity, the cuticles are closely linked, and so the hair basically repels moisture. It's not very easy for the hair to absorb moisture. And I looked at some of the tips in the last video in terms of how you can treat your hair, what kind of hair regimen you can have if you have low porosity, and I want to do the same with high porosity. All right, so if you did the test and your hair sunk immediately to the bottom of the glass, then you have high porosity. Your hair is high porosity. So what does that mean? Does that mean, oh yes, that means it's going to be looking moisturized because no? Okay, because guess what? Because the cuticles are so open, they're a bit further apart than the person with the low porosity, then it means that your hair loses as much moisture as easily as it gains the moisture, because your cuticles are too open, they're too far apart. All right, and this sometimes happen because of heat damage, because of damage from your relaxer, so any chemicals, or for those who color their hair, the chemicals oftentimes change and alters the cuticles of our hair, and so it makes it more open and further apart. So your hair texture can change, your cuticles can change in terms of how close they are to each other. All right, so let's just look at some of the tips. What do you do if you have a high porosity? Because you don't want to lose the moisture as soon as you get it, because these persons with high porosity, what you do see is your hair is dry, your hair looks dry. It's not the case that just like low porosity, your hair looks dry as well, because it's losing the moisture as soon as it comes in. So you want to make sure that you retain the moisture as best as possible. That's the thing with the high porosity. You already get the moisture easily, but how do you retain it is now the issue. And so persons with high porosity generally have very frizzy hair sometimes, because as you know, when the temperature gets humid, it sucks in and then your hair just blows up. All right, so how do we then style natural hair with high porosity? And these are some of the tips. It's just about 5 tips I will give you for styling your hair with high porosity. 1, deep condition frequently, at least once per week. All right, so you want to make sure that you, after every shampoo, you deep condition your hair. All right, even if you're using sulfate free shampoo, make sure that you deep condition at least once per week. There are persons who do it twice per week. I don't think it's that necessary unless you have like severe damage, but once per week is fine, because this is just going to ensure that you infuse moisture into your hair. And when you are doing the deep conditioning treatment, make sure that you use your steam cap to just lock in that moisture. Tip 2 is to do a protein treatment at least once per month. And the reason for the protein treatment is to rebuild your strands and to get your strands thicker, to get your, well, not necessarily thicker, but to get them stronger. All right, so that they have an ability to close a bit. So you want to make sure you do a deep protein, not deep protein, it's a deep conditioning, but you want to make sure that you do a protein treatment at least once per month. If you do not have the product that says protein treatment, a simple tool to use is to get your regular conditioner and add an egg. That's what I do. I just add an egg, because the egg is high in protein, and when you add that to your conditioner, it gives your hair the protein that you need. So do the protein treatment at least once per month. Another tip that is necessary is to use butter. That's the hair butter, not the one that you put in your I know you know, I'm just being facetious. Not the one that you put in your food, but use the hair butter and thicker oils instead when you're sealing in the moisture. So you have quite a few. Cream of Nature, which you know is my go-to products, and guys, I'm not getting any pay. I'm not endorsing them in any way because I'm being paid, but I just love their products. But Cream of Nature has a hair butter, and there are several other products with hair butters, so it's thicker. So you need that thicker kind of oil or butter to seal in the moisture, because it's going to ensure that the moisture stays in your hair much longer, and that's what you want. You don't want it to, because remember, high porosity, it's very porous, but it loses moisture as fast as it goes in. So the thicker oils, and the thicker oils like the castor oil, the olive oil, extra virgin, those are thicker oils, even the coconut oil. So you use those to seal in the moisture. The other types of oils that are the almond oil, those are the grapeseed oil, those are not as thick. Those are thinner oils, very good as well, but you want to have thicker oils that will lock in your moisture more. All right, and tip 4 is to use products with oils. All right, so make sure you find products that say, okay, with castor oil, with Jamaica black castor oil. With, I know Shea Moisture has that as well. One of their lines is the Jamaica black castor oil line. So you want to find products with oil, because what that is going to do is to ensure that just as much as your hair will suck up the moisture, it will keep it as well, and the oils will help it to retain the moisture. And the last tip is avoid heat as best as possible. All right, so I blow my hair out twice per year, probably sometimes even once per year. Okay, and remember how I blow my hair is when it's almost dry, very damp, right? Then I put the heat in my hair so it doesn't, the heat doesn't stay in my hair a long time. So try to avoid heat as best as possible. There are many styles that you can do that do not require heat because you don't want to damage. Remember, your strand, your cuticles are further apart, and heat actually assist in that. So those are some tips if you have high porosity hair. The next video we're going to look at the medium porosity hair, and those are God's favorites. I'm joking. But you understand what I mean, all right? So we're going to look at what to do if you have medium or normal porosity. So I hope that those tips were helpful. Remember to like, subscribe, turn on your notification, share this video for someone that you think will benefit from it. And remember, if you missed the last video, the link is below, so click on it and you'll see if you have low porosity, what to do. And I just want you guys to see, so my water is still here. Do you see that? It hasn't moved. It's in the same spot. It's still at the top. My hair is not very open to moisture. It is a low porosity. So do the test, use the tips, and you'll see a world of difference in your hair. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.